Communication is more than just words. It is the art of influencing, persuading, and connecting with others effectively. The ability to speak smart is a skill that shapes relationships, career, and personal growth. People who master communication project confidence, credibility, and charisma effortlessly. This audiobook will guide you through the psychology of powerful communication. You will learn techniques to organize thoughts, present ideas clearly, engage listeners, and influence outcomes positively. By the end, you will understand how to speak with intelligence, authority, and impact in every conversation. Each chapter focuses on actionable strategies you can practice daily, from understanding human psychology to mastering language, tone, and body language. These chapters are designed to build confidence, refine your expression, and elevate your personal and professional presence. Listening, reflecting, and applying these principles consistently will help you transform not just how others perceive you, but also how you perceive yourself. Speaking smart is not about sounding complicated. It's about being clear, persuasive, and compelling while leaving a lasting impression. Get ready to discover the secrets of powerful communication, master the psychology behind words, and unlock your ability to speak smart in every situation. Chapter 1. Understand the psychology of communication. Effective communication begins with understanding human psychology. To speak smart, you must first recognize how people process information, form opinions, and respond to messages. By aligning your speech with the way minds work, you gain influence, clarity, and credibility. Start by observing attention patterns. Human attention is limited and selective. People are naturally drawn to relevance, novelty, and emotion. When speaking, identify what matters most to your audience. Tailor your message to address needs, desires, or challenges they care about. This immediately captures attention and increases engagement. Understand perception and bias. Every individual filters information through personal beliefs, experiences, and expectations. To communicate effectively, anticipate these filters. Present ideas in ways that align with values or gently challenge assumptions without creating resistance. Awareness of cognitive biases allows for more persuasive messaging. Use the principle of simplicity. The human brain processes clear, concise information more easily. Avoid excessive jargon, convoluted sentences, or unnecessary details. Speaking smart is about clarity, not complexity. A well-structured message resonates better and enhances comprehension. Leverage storytelling. Stories activate emotional and cognitive pathways simultaneously, making messages memorable and persuasive. Use anecdotes, examples, or metaphors to illustrate points. Narratives create connection, stimulate imagination, and improve retention. Apply social proof. People are influenced by the actions, beliefs, or endorsements of others. Citing credible examples, success stories, or expert opinions strengthens your message and increases trustworthiness. Smart communication often integrates evidence that supports your claims naturally. Understand emotional impact. Words trigger feelings. Positive, encouraging, and solution-oriented language inspires action and engagement. Conversely, negative or overly critical language can shut down dialogue or create defensiveness. Choose words that elicit curiosity, optimism, and openness. Recognize non-verbal influence, body language, tone, and pacing impact how messages are received. Confident posture, controlled gestures, steady eye contact, and expressive intonation enhance persuasion and reinforce credibility. Humans subconsciously interpret these cues as indicators of competence and authority. Develop active listening skills. Understanding your audience requires listening first. Attention to verbal cues, pauses, and emotional undercurrents allows you to respond appropriately, address concerns, and align communication with expectations. Speaking smart involves dialogue, not just monologue. Master timing and pacing. People process information at different speeds. Avoid overloading listeners with rapid-fire delivery. Pause strategically to emphasize key points, allow comprehension, and signal importance. Well-timed communication increases clarity and authority. Anticipate questions and objections. Smart speakers predict reactions and prepare thoughtful responses. This demonstrates expertise, builds trust, and reduces misunderstandings. By addressing concerns proactively, you maintain credibility and control of the conversation. Practice framing techniques. The way information is presented influences interpretation. Frame ideas positively, emphasize benefits, and focus on actionable solutions. Effective framing guides perception and enhances persuasive impact. Use repetition wisely. Key points should be reinforced without sounding redundant. Repetition helps memory retention and highlights importance. Smart communication balances clarity, emphasis, and variety. Cultivate empathy. Understanding how your message affects others emotionally and cognitively allows for adaptation. Empathy enables you to connect authentically, anticipate reactions, and communicate with influence. Integrate curiosity-driven questioning. Ask open-ended questions that encourage reflection, discussion, and engagement. Curious inquiry demonstrates intelligence, respect, and interest, strengthening relational bonds and authority. Finally, recognize that communication is not just about speaking. It is about influencing perception, building trust, and connecting with the human mind. Mastering the psychology behind how people think, feel, and respond provides the foundation for all smart, powerful communication. By understanding the psychology of communication, you prepare yourself to speak with intelligence, empathy, and influence. Every word, pause, and gesture becomes purposeful, creating a presence that commands attention, inspires confidence, and fosters meaningful connections. Chapter 2. Organize your thoughts for clarity. Speaking smart begins in the mind. Before you utter a single word, your thoughts must be structured, coherent, and purposeful. Organized thinking ensures that your communication is clear, persuasive, and impactful, making listeners more likely to engage and trust your message. Start by defining your purpose. Every conversation, presentation, or discussion should have a clear objective. Ask yourself, what do I want to achieve? What is the main point I want the listener to take away? Purpose-driven communication focuses attention and guides both the speaker and audience through the conversation. Outline key points mentally or on paper. Identify the essential ideas and supporting evidence. Group related points together, creating a logical flow. Structuring information in a clear sequence prevents confusion, allows smoother delivery, and enhances understanding. Prioritize information. Not every detail is equally important. Highlight the core messages and remove extraneous points. Listeners remember fewer things than speakers think, so focus on clarity over quantity. Smart communicators emphasize quality and relevance. Practice mental summarization. Before speaking, condense complex ideas into concise statements. Being able to summarize clearly demonstrates understanding, confidence, and intelligence. This skill also helps in spontaneous conversations, meetings, and negotiations. Use storytelling frameworks. Organizing thoughts in a narrative structure makes ideas easier to grasp. Introduce the context, explain challenges, describe solutions, and conclude with a clear takeaway. Narratives engage emotions, increase retention, and enhance persuasive power. Chunk information strategically. Break down large or complex ideas into smaller, digestible pieces. Use transitions to guide listeners from one point to the next, smoothly. Chunking reduces cognitive overload and increases comprehension. Anticipate questions and gaps. As you organize thoughts, consider potential objections or areas of confusion. Preparing responses in advance demonstrates expertise and ensures that communication remains smooth and credible. Practice sequencing logically. Arrange points in a way that builds understanding progressively. Start with foundational concepts, move to supporting evidence, and conclude with actionable insights. Logical sequencing reinforces clarity and authority. Integrate examples and analogies. Real-world examples and relatable comparisons make abstract ideas concrete. Analogies help listeners visualize concepts and understand their relevance. Thoughtful examples enhance credibility and memorability. Use mental rehearsal. Before key conversations, mentally walk through the points, flow, and transitions. This rehearsal strengthens memory, reduces anxiety, and ensures that delivery is confident and structured. Refine your vocabulary. Organized thinking pairs with precise language. Choose words that accurately convey meaning. Avoid ambiguity, and match the audience's level of understanding. Effective vocabulary strengthens clarity and employ intentional pauses. Pausing between key points allows the listener to absorb information and signals that each idea carries importance. Well-timed pauses also give the speaker a moment to organize thoughts in real time. Practice active alignment of body language with thought. Posture, gestures, and facial expressions should support the message rather than distract. Confident and deliberate movements reinforce clarity and the impression of intelligence. Maintain focus and avoid tangents. Organized thought is lost when conversations drift aimlessly. Stay on track by revisiting the purpose, linking points logically, and guiding the dialogue back to the core objective. Finally, recognize that clear thinking underpins all smart communication. When your thoughts are structured, concise, and intentional, your words naturally follow with confidence, influence, and authority. Organized thinking enables you to articulate ideas convincingly, respond to challenges seamlessly, and maintain composure in any conversational setting. By practicing thought organization daily, you ensure that every word you speak carries clarity, purpose, and impact. Listeners are more likely to understand, engage, and trust you, creating the foundation for powerful, smart communication. Chapter 3. Master the art of listening. Speaking smart is not just about what you say, it is equally about how well you listen. Listening is an active process that allows you to understand others, respond appropriately, and communicate with intelligence and empathy. Mastering listening enhances credibility, rapport, and influence. Start by giving full attention. Avoid distractions such as phones, emails, or wandering thoughts. Focus entirely on the speaker. Observing both verbal and nonverbal cues, full attention demonstrates respect, builds trust, and increases your ability to understand the message accurately. Practice active listening. Nodding, paraphrasing, and asking clarifying questions show engagement. For example, responding with, "So what you're saying, is it?" or "I understand that you feel," ensures the speaker feels heard and validated. Active listening strengthens relationships and communication effectiveness. Listen for underlying meaning. Words often convey more than literal meaning. Emotions, intentions, and unspoken concerns are critical to understanding. Pay attention to tone, emphasis, and pauses, which can reveal important information beyond the words themselves. Avoid interrupting. Let the speaker finish before responding. Interruptions disrupt thought flow and signal impatience or disinterest. Allowing pauses before responding also provides time to process information and craft thoughtful, intelligent responses. Practice reflective listening. Summarize key points to confirm understanding. Statements like, "If I understand correctly, your main concern is," help avoid miscommunication and demonstrate comprehension. Reflection also reinforces your credibility and thoughtfulness. Develop empathy through listening. Strive to understand the speaker's perspective and emotions. Empathetic listening builds connection, fosters trust, and allows you to respond in ways that are meaningful and persuasive. Recognize patterns and context. Observing recurring themes, concerns, or priorities allows you to tailor your responses strategically. Contextual awareness enhances the relevance and impact of your communication. Balance listening with responding. While listening is critical, smart communication requires timely, thoughtful responses. Respond after fully processing the message, ensuring that your words address the speaker's needs, questions, or concerns effectively. Notice non-verbal signals. Facial expressions, gestures, posture, and eye contact provide insight into emotions and intentions. Being attentive to these cues enhances your understanding and allows you to adjust your approach accordingly. Use pauses effectively. Allow for moments of silence after the speaker has finished. Silence gives space for reflection, signals respect, and often encourages additional insights or clarification from the speaker. Practice curiosity. Ask questions that encourage elaboration and deeper discussion. Questions such as, "Can you explain what led to that decision?" Or "How did that experience feel for you?" Demonstrate intelligence, interest, and engagement. Avoid judgment and assumptions. Enter conversations with an open mind, suspending preconceived notions. Smart communicators understand that true comprehension requires neutrality and objectivity. Reacting impulsively or assuming intent can lead to miscommunication. Integrate listening into daily routines. Whether in professional meetings, social gatherings, or casual conversations, actively listen to understand rather than to respond. Consistent practice strengthens patience, awareness, and conversational influence. Recognize emotional undertones. Emotions drive decisions and perceptions. Being aware of subtle cues, frustration, excitement, hesitation, allows you to tailor your responses for maximum impact and relevance. Emotional awareness enhances persuasion and influence. Finally, understand that listening is a foundational skill for smart communication. Words spoken without understanding fall flat, while thoughtful responses rooted in careful listening create authority, trust, and credibility. By practicing listening daily, you strengthen your ability to respond intelligently, connect deeply, and influence effectively. Smart communication is not about dominating conversations, but about engaging meaningfully, understanding fully, and speaking with clarity and purpose. Chapter 4. Choose words that influence. Words have power. The vocabulary you choose shapes perception, conveys authority, and influences how your message is received. Speaking smart requires deliberate selection of words that are precise, persuasive, and impactful. Start with clarity. Avoid vague or ambiguous terms. Clear words prevent misunderstandings and demonstrate thoughtfulness. For example, instead of saying "we need to improve things," say "we need to increase our monthly sales by 15% through targeted marketing strategies." Clarity signals intelligence and purpose. Use strong, active verbs. Action-oriented language energizes communication and portrays confidence. Replace passive expressions like "mistakes were made" with active ones, such as "we will address these mistakes and improve processes." Strong verbs inspire confidence and engagement. Eliminate filler words. Words like "actually," or basically dilute to authority and distract listeners. Smart speakers pause instead of filling silence with unnecessary words. Pausing conveys confidence, control, and thoughtfulness. Incorporate persuasive language. Use words that inspire, motivate, or create a sense of possibility. Phrases like "imagine achieving," "you can take control," or "this approach guarantees," guide thinking and encourage action. Persuasive language shapes perception and influence. Be concise. Avoid over-explaining or including irrelevant details. Conciseness respects listeners' time and enhances retention. Well-chosen, brief statements are easier to remember and demonstrate mastery over your subject. Understand emotional resonance. Words carry emotional weight. Positive, uplifting words evoke engagement, optimism, and cooperation, while harsh or negative words can create defensiveness or disengagement. Smart communication aligns language with desired emotional responses. Practice analogies and metaphors. Comparing complex concepts to familiar ideas simplifies understanding and creates memorable impressions. For example, describing teamwork as an orchestra, where each member plays a vital role, conveys the idea vividly and elegantly. Use inclusive language. Words that invite participation, collaboration, and shared understanding strengthen relationships and build trust. Phrases like, "Let's explore this together," or "We can achieve this as a team," enhance social connection and authority. Avoid negative or judgmental terms. Speaking smart involves framing ideas positively, focusing on solutions rather than blame. Instead of saying, "You failed to meet the target," consider, "Here's an opportunity to improve outcomes moving forward." Positive framing maintains engagement and influence. Master rhetorical techniques. Techniques such as repetition, parallelism, and rhetorical questions enhance retention and persuasiveness. For example, repeating key points reinforces importance, while well-placed questions stimulate thought and engagement. Balance formal and conversational language. Adjust word choice based on context. Professional settings may require formal, precise language, while casual conversations benefit from approachable, relatable terms. Smart speakers navigate context seamlessly. Expand vocabulary strategically. Learn and incorporate words that convey nuance, sophistication, and authority without sounding pretentious. Precise word choice demonstrates knowledge, confidence, and eloquence. Use storytelling language. Words that paint pictures, evoke emotions, or stimulate imagination enhance memorability. Descriptive, vivid language strengthens connection and ensures messages resonate deeply. Practice rhetorical timing. Deliver key words or phrases with emphasis. Pause before conclusions and pace sentences to create impact. The timing of words affects perception, comprehension, and persuasive power. Finally, recognize that words are the tools of influence. Mastery of vocabulary, phrasing, and tone ensures that your ideas are not only heard but felt, understood, and acted upon. Choosing words intentionally amplifies every other aspect of smart communication, from body language to active listening. By selecting words with precision and purpose, you communicate authority, clarity, and influence. Your message becomes compelling, memorable, and persuasive, establishing your presence as a confident, intelligent communicator. Chapter 5. Master Tone and Inflection. The way you say something often matters more than what you say. Tone and inflection shape perception, convey emotion, and influence how your message is received. Speaking smart involves controlling your voice to project confidence, authority, and engagement. Start by understanding tone. Tone communicates your attitude, intent, and emotion. A calm, steady tone signals control and professionalism, while a warm, enthusiastic tone fosters connection and approachability. Mismatched tone can create misunderstanding or reduce impact. Practice modulation. Avoid monotone delivery, which signals boredom or lack of confidence. Vary pitch, pace, and volume to emphasize key points, convey emotion, and maintain listener interest. Dynamic delivery keeps your audience engaged and attentive. Use pauses strategically. Pauses allow the listener to absorb information and create emphasis. Pausing before a critical point draws attention, while pausing after allows reflection. Silence also communicates confidence, giving your words weight and presence. Control pace. Speaking too quickly can confuse listeners and reduce comprehension. Speaking too slowly may disengage them. Find a rhythm that is clear, deliberate, and suitable for your audience. Adjusting pace demonstrates awareness and mastery of communication. Emphasize important words. Stress key terms to highlight main ideas. For example, saying, "This strategy will dramatically improve productivity," draws attention to the word dramatically. and reinforces significance. Strategic emphasis increases impact and memorability. Modulate volume appropriately. Ensure your voice is audible but not overpowering. Adjust volume according to the setting, audience size, and context. A well-modulated voice conveys confidence and ensures effective delivery. Practice expressive inflection. Ending sentences with upward or downward inflection changes meaning subtly. Rising inflection may indicate curiosity or openness, while falling inflection signals certainty and finality. Inflection guides perception and interpretation. Use vocal variety to maintain engagement. Alternating between tones, pacing, and emotional emphasis prevents monotony and keeps listeners attentive. Vocal variety conveys passion, intelligence, and confidence simultaneously. Be aware of emotional undertones. Your voice reflects internal states. Stress, frustration, or nervousness can be detected subconsciously. Managing your emotional state before speaking ensures tone conveys control, composure, and authority. Record and analyze your speech. Listening to recordings allows you to identify monotone patterns, filler words, or pacing issues. Self-assessment facilitates targeted improvement and increases confidence in live interactions. Practice projection. Speak from your diaphragm rather than throat to produce a richer, more resonant sound. Projection enhances audibility, presence, and authority, particularly in group settings or public speaking. Match tone to context. Adjust tone based on the audience and purpose. Professional discussions require measured and composed tone, whereas motivational talks benefit from energy and enthusiasm. Context-aware tone enhances credibility and relatability. Combine tone with body language. Vocal expression should align with gestures, posture, and facial expressions. A mismatch between words, tone, and nonverbal cues reduces trust and engagement. Harmony between voice and body reinforces impact. Develop confidence through practice. Rehearse key phrases, speeches, or responses to internalize tone control. Regular practice builds muscle memory, reduces anxiety, and strengthens natural delivery in spontaneous situations. Finally, recognize that tone and inflection are critical tools in smart communication. Words gain power when delivered with purpose, control, and emotional resonance. Mastering your voice ensures that ideas are not just heard but felt, enhancing persuasion, memorability, and personal authority. By practicing tone and inflection daily, you transform spoken words into instruments of influence. Your communication becomes compelling, credible, and magnetic, establishing your presence as a confident, intelligent speaker in any setting. Chapter 6. Use questions to engage and influence. Asking questions is one of the most powerful tools in communication. Smart speakers use questions to engage listeners, guide thinking, and influence outcomes. Questions stimulate curiosity, encourage dialogue, and establish your presence as thoughtful and intelligent. Start by understanding the purpose of questions. Questions can clarify information, invite participation, provoke thought, or challenge assumptions. Using the right type of question at the right moment allows you to steer conversation strategically while maintaining rapport. Use open-ended questions. These questions cannot be answered with a simple yes or no. For example, ask, "What challenges did you face in completing this project?" rather than, "Did you complete the project?" Open-ended questions encourage detailed responses, deeper thinking, and meaningful dialogue. Employ reflective questions. Reflective questions prompt introspection and insight. Phrases like, "How do you think this decision will impact our goals?" encourage critical thinking and engage listeners mentally and emotionally. Reflective questioning demonstrates intelligence and curiosity. Use leading questions strategically. Leading questions subtly guide thought without imposing opinions. For example, "Wouldn't it be beneficial to consider a more efficient approach?" Encourages agreement while maintaining respect and autonomy. Smart speakers use this technique to influence gently. Ask probing questions. Probing questions explore underlying causes, motivations, or assumptions. Follow up on initial responses with questions like, "Can you explain why that approach worked?" or "What led you to that conclusion?" Probing deepens understanding and strengthens conversation. Practice active listening while questioning. Questions are only effective if you listen attentively to responses, respond thoughtfully, reference previous points, and adapt follow-up questions based on the listener's input. Active listening enhances engagement and credibility. Use questions to build rapport. Asking for opinions, experiences, or advice demonstrates respect and interest in others' perspectives. People naturally feel more connected and cooperative when their thoughts are valued, enhancing influence and trust. Balance question types. Mix open-ended, reflective, probing, and clarifying questions. Variety keeps conversations dynamic, maintains engagement, and ensures comprehensive understanding of the topic at hand. Employ rhetorical questions for emphasis. Rhetorical questions do not require an answer, but provoke thought or highlight points. For example, "Isn't it true that preparation determines success?" Engages the mind and emphasizes key ideas. Use hypothetical questions to stimulate imagination. Questions like, "What would happen if we approached this differently?" encourage creative thinking and exploration. Hypothetical questioning opens new perspectives and demonstrates problem-solving intelligence. Avoid over-questioning. Excessive questioning can overwhelm or frustrate listeners. Ensure that each question has purpose, relevance, and timing. Strategic questioning strengthens authority without creating discomfort or defensiveness. Practice questioning in everyday conversations. Whether at work, social events, or casual interactions, integrate thoughtful questions into dialogue. Daily practice builds skill, intuition, and fluency in guiding conversations intelligently. Use questions to clarify assumptions. Misunderstandings often arise from unspoken assumptions. Questions such as, "Can you clarify what you mean by that?" or "How did you arrive at that conclusion?" prevent confusion and maintain clarity. Observe responses and adapt. The way people answer provides insight into their thinking, emotional state, and perspective. Adapt subsequent questions to deepen understanding or redirect the conversation when necessary. Finally, recognize that questions are a bridge between listening and speaking smartly. They engage minds, encourage participation, and guide thought. The strategic use of questions enhances influence, builds rapport, and reinforces your presence as a thoughtful, intelligent communicator. By practicing questioning daily, you create dialogue that is engaging, insightful, and persuasive. Every interaction becomes an opportunity to connect, guide, and inspire, reinforcing your mastery of powerful communication. Chapter 7. Harness the power of storytelling. Storytelling is one of the most effective techniques for smart communication. Humans are naturally drawn to stories. They engage emotions, aid memory, and make complex ideas relatable. Mastering storytelling elevates your ability to influence, persuade, and inspire. Start by identifying the purpose of your story. Every story should have a clear objective: to inform, persuade, motivate, or connect. Determine the takeaway you want your audience to remember and structure your narrative around it. Purpose-driven stories resonate and create lasting impact. Use relatable characters. Characters create connection. Whether you are sharing personal experiences, anecdotes about colleagues, or fictional examples, ensure that your audience can relate to the characters' challenges, emotions, or goals. Relatable characters evoke empathy and attention. Establish context clearly. Set the scene for your story by explaining the who, what, when, and where. Providing context helps listeners visualize the scenario and understand the relevance of the story. Clear context prevents confusion and strengthens engagement. Incorporate conflict and resolution. Stories with challenges and solutions are memorable. Highlight obstacles, struggles, or dilemmas and then demonstrate how they were addressed or overcome. Conflict followed by resolution creates emotional investment and reinforces lessons effectively. Use descriptive language. Vivid descriptions appeal to the senses and make stories more engaging. Instead of saying "we faced a problem," say "we encountered a sudden, unexpected obstacle that tested our creativity and determination." Details enrich storytelling and capture attention. Integrate emotional appeal. Emotions drive decisions and memories. Highlight feelings such as hope, fear, excitement, or curiosity. Connecting emotionally strengthens the audience's bond with your message and reinforces influence. Keep structure simple and logical. Stories should follow a coherent flow: introduction, challenge, action, and outcome. A clear structure ensures understanding and increases retention of key points. Avoid tangents that distract from the core message. Use pacing effectively. Vary the speed of delivery to match the narrative. Slow down during crucial moments to build suspense or emphasize importance, and accelerate during action or dialogue to maintain energy. Pacing enhances engagement and drama. Include lessons and takeaways. Every story should teach or illustrate a point. Conclude narratives with clear, actionable lessons or reflections. Audiences remember the lesson, not just the events. Connecting stories to practical insights strengthens credibility and impact. Practice personal storytelling. Sharing your own experiences adds authenticity and authority. Vulnerability, when appropriate, builds trust and relatability. Personal stories are compelling because they are unique, genuine, and memorable. Use analogies and metaphors. Stories can simplify complex ideas through comparison. Analogies help audiences grasp abstract concepts and relate them to familiar experiences. Metaphors also enhance recall and illustrate points elegantly. Observe audience reactions. Pay attention to engagement cues. Laughter, nods, or attentive expressions indicate that the story is resonating. Adjust tone, detail, or pacing in real time to maintain connection and effectiveness. Practice economy of words. Stories should be engaging but concise. Avoid overloading listeners with unnecessary details. Focus on what drives the point home and maintains audience interest. Brevity strengthens impact without diluting the message. Finally, recognize that storytelling is not just an art, it is a psychological tool. Well-crafted stories influence perception, inspire action, and make communication memorable. They connect intellect and emotion, allowing you to convey ideas powerfully while building trust and rapport. By integrating storytelling into your daily communication, you transform ordinary conversations into compelling narratives. Your messages become engaging, persuasive, and unforgettable, reinforcing your mastery of powerful communication. Chapter 8. Master Body Language. Words alone do not carry the full weight of communication. Your body language, posture, gestures, facial expressions, and eye contact plays a crucial role in how your message is perceived. Smart communicators align verbal and non-verbal cues to maximize influence and confidence. Start with posture. Stand or sit upright with shoulders relaxed and head held high. Good posture conveys confidence, presence, and authority. Slouching or closed-off positions may suggest insecurity or disinterest, undermining your verbal message. Maintain appropriate eye contact. Eye contact signals attention, sincerity, and engagement. Too little can seem evasive or unsure. Too much can feel intimidating. Balanced, natural eye contact helps build rapport and trust while reinforcing your presence. Use purposeful gestures. Hand movements and gestures can emphasize key points, illustrate concepts, and add energy to your communication. Avoid repetitive or distracting gestures, as they may detract from your message. Purposeful gestures reinforce clarity and credibility. Facial expressions communicate emotion. Ensure that your expressions match the message you are delivering. Smiles convey warmth and approachability, while serious expressions can emphasize importance. Authentic expressions enhance trust and relatability. Manage proximity and personal space. Awareness of spatial boundaries affects comfort and engagement. Standing too close may feel intrusive, while being too distant can seem disengaged. Respecting personal space while maintaining presence strengthens connection. Control fidgeting and nervous habits. Repeated movements such as tapping, shifting weight, or playing with objects can signal anxiety or distraction. Reducing these habits conveys composure and self-confidence, reinforcing the impact of your words. Mirror and match subtly. Subtly mirroring the posture, gestures, or tone of the listener fosters rapport and connection. Matching behavior should be natural and respectful, helping build trust and engagement without appearing insincere. Use open body positions. Keep arms uncrossed and maintain an approachable stance. Open body language communicates receptiveness and confidence, encouraging dialogue and cooperation. Closed positions may convey defensiveness or discomfort. Leverage spatial orientation. Position yourself appropriately in relation to the audience. Facing individuals directly signals engagement, while turning slightly can convey thoughtfulness or reflection. Spatial awareness enhances interaction dynamics. Practice controlled breathing. Calm, steady breathing supports relaxed body language and vocal tone. It helps regulate nerves, sustain posture, and maintain a composed, confident presence. Deep breathing also enhances clarity of speech and focus. Combine body language with tone. Gestures, expressions, and movement should complement vocal inflection and emphasis. Harmonized verbal and non-verbal cues increase persuasiveness, credibility, and engagement. Observe audience reactions. Non-verbal cues from listeners leaning in, nodding, or attentive posture indicate engagement and comprehension. Adjust your body language accordingly to maintain rapport and reinforce your message. Use purposeful movement in presentations. Moving with intent across a stage or space draws attention, emphasizes points, and maintains energy. Avoid aimless pacing, which can distract or convey nervousness. Movement should enhance, not compete with, your message. Practice awareness in everyday interactions. Simple adjustments such as posture at a meeting, hand placement during conversation, or facial expressions in social settings strengthen overall communication skills. Daily attention to body language reinforces confidence and influence. Finally, understand that body language amplifies your words. Effective communication is a combination of verbal clarity, vocal tone, and physical presence. Mastering body language ensures that your message is received as intended, projects confidence, and leaves a lasting impression. By integrating mindful body language into your interactions, you enhance every conversation, presentation, and discussion. Your presence becomes magnetic, your authority unquestionable, and your communication powerfully effective. Chapter 9. Build confidence through preparation. Confidence is the foundation of smart communication. When you are well prepared, your thoughts flow smoothly, your words carry authority, and your presence inspires trust. Preparation transforms anxiety into assurance, allowing you to speak with clarity and influence. Start by researching your topic thoroughly. Knowledge breeds confidence. Whether you are attending a meeting, giving a presentation, or engaging in casual conversation, understanding the subject matter allows you to respond intelligently and spontaneously. Preparation reduces uncertainty and enhances credibility. Anticipate questions and objections. Consider potential queries or counterpoints from the audience. Preparing thoughtful responses in advance demonstrates expertise, reduces hesitation, and strengthens persuasive power. Anticipation fosters control and authority in interactions. Practice articulation. Rehearsing your speech or dialogue improves fluency, pacing, and vocal clarity. Speaking aloud helps internalize content, refine word choice, and identify potential weak points. The more you practice, the more natural and confident your delivery becomes. Organize your key points. Before speaking, outline the main ideas, supporting arguments and examples. A clear mental or written roadmap helps you deliver messages coherently, ensuring the audience can follow your logic and reasoning. Structured preparation minimizes confusion and strengthens impact. Use visualization techniques, mentally rehearsing success, imagining yourself speaking confidently, engaging the audience, and conveying points effectively boosts self-assurance. Visualization strengthens belief in your abilities and reduces performance anxiety. Prepare supporting materials. Visual aids, notes, or reference materials enhance confidence by providing backup for critical points. Knowing you have resources to clarify, illustrate, or reinforce ideas allows you to focus on delivery rather than uncertainty. Develop routines before speaking. Pre-conversation or pre-presentation rituals, such as deep breathing, positive affirmations, or brief warm-up exercises, calm nerves and reinforce confidence. Routines signal readiness and mentally prepare you for engagement. Know your audience. Understanding the needs, interests, and expectations of your listeners allows you to tailor content and approach. Audience awareness increases relevance, connection, and authority, making communication more impactful and credible. Refine body language and vocal tone. Preparation includes rehearsing nonverbal cues, confident posture, appropriate gestures, eye contact, and controlled tone enhance delivery and reinforce credibility. Alignment between verbal and nonverbal elements maximizes influence. Practice time management. Organize your points to fit allotted time. Practicing concise and effective delivery prevents rushing, ensures coverage of key messages, and demonstrates professionalism. Well-timed communication reflects competence and consideration. Cultivate a growth mindset. Embrace challenges. Learn from mistakes and view feedback as an opportunity to improve. Confidence is not innate, it develops through experience, practice, and intentional effort. Mindset influences how preparation translates into self-assurance. Start small and scale gradually. Build confidence incrementally by practicing in low-pressure environments. Engage in small group discussions, informal conversations, or mock presentations before tackling larger or higher-stakes situations. Gradual exposure strengthens competence and self-assurance. Evaluate and adjust. After each interaction, reflect on what went well and identify areas for improvement. Continuous evaluation refines preparation methods, sharpens skills, and builds a cycle of growth and confidence. Finally, recognize that confidence is the result of deliberate preparation. Knowledge, organization, rehearsal, and audience awareness empower you to speak clearly, assertively, and persuasively. Confidence underpins every aspect of communication, enabling you to influence, inspire, and leave a lasting impression. By prioritizing preparation, you transform uncertainty into certainty, hesitation into decisiveness, and nervousness into poised, intelligent expression. Every conversation becomes an opportunity to showcase competence, credibility, and the power of smart communication. Chapter 10. Handle difficult conversations with poise. Smart communicators know that difficult conversations are inevitable. Whether addressing conflict, giving feedback, or discussing sensitive topics, handling these situations with poise is essential. The ability to navigate challenging discussions demonstrates intelligence, emotional control, and authority. Start by preparing mentally. Anticipate potential reactions and plan your approach. Define your objectives clearly. What outcome do you hope to achieve? Being mentally prepared reduces anxiety, allows for calm responses, and ensures that the conversation remains productive. Listen actively. Before responding, fully understand the other person's perspective. Pay attention to both verbal and non-verbal cues, reflect on what is being said, clarify ambiguities, and acknowledge emotions. Active listening signals respect and builds trust even in tense situations. Maintain a calm tone. Emotional reactions can escalate conflict. Speak in a steady, composed voice. Controlled tone communicates authority, reduces defensiveness, and encourages constructive dialogue. Pausing before responding helps maintain composure. Use empathetic language. Express understanding of the other person's feelings or perspective. Phrases like, "I see why that might be frustrating," or "I understand your concern," validate emotions and soften tension. Empathy fosters collaboration rather than confrontation. Focus on solutions, not blame. Avoid personal attacks or accusatory statements. Frame discussions around resolving issues, exploring alternatives, or finding common ground. Solution-oriented communication demonstrates maturity, intelligence, and professionalism. Ask clarifying questions. If statements are unclear or emotions are high, ask questions to gain clarity. Open-ended questions like, "Can you explain what led to this situation?" help uncover root causes and prevent misunderstandings. Strategic questioning guides conversation constructively. Manage body language. Maintain open, relaxed posture and steady eye contact. Avoid defensive gestures such as crossed arms or fidgeting. Non-verbal cues influence perception as much as words. Calm, composed body language reduces tension and reinforces authority. Set boundaries respectfully. Clearly define acceptable behavior, conversation topics, and expectations. Setting limits establishes control without hostility, demonstrating confidence and professionalism. Boundaries protect both parties and ensure productive interaction. Acknowledge emotions without being reactive. Recognize when emotions, either yours or theirs, influence dialogue. Name feelings when appropriate. "I sense frustration here. Let's find a solution together." Acknowledgement reduces escalation and fosters rational discussion. Use concise, clear language. Avoid vague statements or excessive elaboration. Direct communication reduces confusion, demonstrates confidence, and keeps the discussion on track. Clear, assertive language enhances authority and influence. Reframe challenges positively. Present difficulties as opportunities for improvement, learning, or collaboration. Positive framing reduces defensiveness and encourages proactive problem-solving, enhancing receptivity and engagement. Know when to pause or step away. If emotions escalate or communication becomes unproductive, suggest a break. Returning later with a calmer mindset ensures clarity, rationality, and better outcomes. Strategic pauses are a hallmark of intelligent communication. Follow up with actionable steps. Conclude difficult conversations with a summary of agreements, responsibilities, or next actions. Clear follow-up ensures accountability, reinforces resolution, and maintains professionalism. Reflect and learn. After each challenging discussion, analyze what went well and what could be improved. Continuous reflection strengthens skills, builds confidence, and enhances future interactions. Finally, recognize that difficult conversations are opportunities to demonstrate mastery of smart communication. Handling conflict with poise, empathy, and clarity builds credibility, strengthens relationships, and reinforces your presence as a confident, intelligent communicator. By approaching every challenging interaction with preparation, emotional control, and solution-focused dialogue, you transform potential friction into constructive outcomes. Difficult conversations become platforms for influence, connection, and growth. Chapter 11. Learn the art of persuasion. Persuasion is the heart of smart communication. Being able to influence others while maintaining respect, credibility, and trust elevates your personal and professional impact. Mastering persuasion involves understanding psychology, building rapport, and presenting ideas compellingly. Start by building credibility. People are more likely to be persuaded when they perceive you as knowledgeable, trustworthy, and confident. Demonstrate expertise through clear, accurate information and maintain honesty at all times. Credibility forms the foundation of influence. Understand your audience. To persuade effectively, know their motivations, concerns, and values. Tailoring your message to resonate with their interests increases receptivity. Audience awareness allows you to frame ideas in ways that appeal logically and emotionally. Use evidence strategically. Facts, statistics, anecdotes, and examples strengthen your argument. Evidence provides support for claims, reduces resistance, and increases trust. Smart communicators combine data with relatable narratives for maximum impact. Highlight benefits clearly. People are more persuaded by understanding how an idea affects them positively. Emphasize advantages, outcomes, or solutions. For instance, instead of merely describing a strategy, show how it improves efficiency or solves a problem. Benefits motivate action. Employ the principle of reciprocity. Offering value or assistance before requesting something builds goodwill. People are more likely to be receptive when they feel appreciated or supported. Reciprocity fosters cooperation and persuasion. Use stories to persuade. Narratives create emotional connections and illustrate concepts vividly. Stories help listeners visualize benefits, consequences, or solutions, making abstract ideas concrete and memorable. Persuasive storytelling bridges intellect and emotion. Apply the principle of social proof. Demonstrating that others have adopted an idea or achieved success through a particular approach increases acceptance. Examples of peers, experts, or successful case studies enhance credibility and influence. Ask compelling questions. Thought-provoking questions guide thinking and encourage listeners to arrive at desired conclusions themselves. Questions such as, imagine if we could reduce errors by 50%, how would that change our workflow? Inspire reflection and alignment. Master framing techniques. The way information is presented significantly affects interpretation. Frame ideas positively, emphasize solutions over problems, and highlight desirable outcomes. Effective framing directs perception and strengthens persuasiveness. Use emotional appeal wisely. Emotions often drive decisions more than logic alone. Balance rational arguments with emotional resonance. Demonstrate empathy, excitement, or concern to connect deeply and inspire engagement. Practice active listening. Persuasion is enhanced when you understand the listener's perspective, objections, and priorities. Listening allows you to address concerns effectively, align messages, and reinforce relevance. Dialogue, not monologue, maximizes influence. Maintain composure and confidence. Persuasion requires authority, clarity, and calmness. Nervousness, hesitation, or defensiveness undermines credibility. Poise communicates competence and reinforces trust, increasing persuasive power. Leverage repetition thoughtfully, reinforcing key points without overdoing it, strengthens retention and emphasizes importance. Repetition ensures your main message is remembered while guiding decision-making. Encourage commitment incrementally. Start with small agreements or actions before requesting larger commitments. Gradual alignment builds confidence, trust, and willingness to act. Incremental persuasion increases the likelihood of long-term adoption. Finally, recognize that persuasion is not manipulation. It is intelligent, ethical influence. Smart communicators inspire action by combining credibility, empathy, logic, and emotion. Mastering persuasion ensures your ideas are understood, accepted, and implemented effectively. By practicing persuasive techniques consistently, you enhance your ability to influence, negotiate, and inspire. Every interaction becomes an opportunity to communicate smartly, leaving a lasting impression and driving meaningful outcomes. Chapter 12. Develop emotional intelligence in communication. Emotional intelligence, EQ, is a cornerstone of smart communication. It involves recognizing, understanding, and managing your own emotions while perceiving and responding effectively to the emotions of others. High EQ enhances connection, influence, and effectiveness in every interaction. Start by increasing self-awareness. Pay attention to your thoughts, feelings, and physiological responses during conversations. Recognize patterns in your reactions. Do you become defensive, anxious, or impatient? Self-awareness allows you to regulate emotions and respond intelligently rather than react impulsively. Practice self-regulation. Once aware of your emotions, learn to control impulsive reactions. Pause before responding. Take deep breaths and choose words intentionally. Controlled responses build credibility, foster trust, and prevent misunderstandings. Develop empathy. Understanding others' emotions is crucial for meaningful communication. Observe body language, tone, and context to interpret feelings accurately. Demonstrating empathy by acknowledging emotions strengthens relationships and encourages cooperation. Manage social interactions thoughtfully. Tailor your communication to the emotional climate of the conversation. Sensitive topics require tact, while collaborative discussions benefit from encouragement and positive reinforcement. Adaptive communication enhances receptivity and influence. Use emotional labeling. Identifying and verbalizing emotions, both yours and others, clarifies situations and reduces tension. For instance, saying, "I sense frustration about this timeline," validates feelings and opens space for constructive dialogue. Cultivate active listening with emotional awareness. Listening extends beyond words. It involves detecting emotional undertones and responding appropriately. Reflect, paraphrase, and ask clarifying questions to demonstrate understanding and empathy. Balance assertiveness and sensitivity. Express your ideas clearly and confidently while respecting others' perspectives and feelings. Assertive yet considerate communication establishes authority without alienating listeners. Recognize triggers and manage them. Understand situations, words, or behaviors that provoke strong emotions in you. Anticipate triggers and develop strategies to maintain composure, ensuring your communication remains rational, respectful, and effective. Build rapport through mirroring and tone. Matching energy, tone, and subtle gestures of the listener fosters connection and trust. Mirroring demonstrates attentiveness and empathy without appearing manipulative when done naturally. Address conflict constructively. High EQ allows you to navigate disagreements without escalating tension. Focus on solutions, maintain calm tone, acknowledge emotions, and seek mutual understanding. Constructive conflict resolution strengthens credibility and relationships. Practice emotional vocabulary. Expand your ability to express emotions accurately and precisely. Instead of vague expressions like "I'm upset," say "I feel concerned about the timeline," which communicates clarity and maturity. Use positive reinforcement. Recognize and appreciate efforts, contributions, and achievements. Positive acknowledgement enhances motivation, collaboration, and receptiveness to your communication. Encouragement strengthens influence and rapport. Develop patience and tolerance. Smart communicators remain composed under pressure and respect diverse perspectives. Patience allows for thoughtful responses, reduces conflict, and models professionalism. Tolerance promotes inclusivity and effective engagement. Integrate mindfulness into communication. Being fully present during interactions enhances observation, understanding, and responsiveness. Mindfulness reduces emotional reactivity and increases clarity, allowing you to navigate complex social dynamics intelligently. Finally, recognize that emotional intelligence amplifies every other aspect of smart communication. Words, tone, body language, and persuasion are more effective when combined with empathy, self-regulation, and emotional awareness. EQ allows you to influence, connect, and lead with authenticity and authority. By cultivating emotional intelligence daily, you transform conversations into meaningful exchanges, foster deeper relationships, and communicate with confidence, credibility, and impact. Every interaction becomes an opportunity to engage thoughtfully, inspire trust, and leave a lasting impression. Chapter 13. Leverage the power of pausing. Pausing is a deceptively simple yet highly effective tool in smart communication. Strategic pauses convey confidence, emphasize key points, and allow both speaker and listener to process information. Mastering the art of pausing enhances clarity, authority, and engagement. Start by understanding why pausing works. Silence creates space for reflection, draws attention, and signals intentionality. Pausing before delivering an important statement signals that what follows is significant. Pausing after a statement gives the audience time to absorb and reflect on your words. Use pauses to control pace. Rapid speech can overwhelm listeners, while overly slow speech can bore them. Pausing strategically allows you to regulate rhythm, maintain interest, and ensure comprehension. Thoughtful pacing demonstrates command over your message. Emphasize key points. A well-timed pause before or after an important idea draws attention and reinforces retention. For example, after stating a crucial statistic or recommendation, pause briefly to let it resonate. Pauses enhance memorability and impact. Pause to think before responding. In conversations, particularly during unexpected questions or disagreements, taking a moment before replying signals thoughtfulness and prevents reactive or emotional responses. Thoughtful pauses strengthen credibility and judgment. Integrate pauses with body language. During silence, maintain confident posture, eye contact, and relaxed gestures. Avoid fidgeting, which can undermine the authority conveyed by the pause. Combined with non-verbal cues, pauses project control and composure. Use pauses in storytelling. Pauses build suspense, highlight drama, and create anticipation. Timing silence effectively during narratives engages listeners emotionally and intellectually, making stories more compelling and memorable. Practice pausing in presentations. Identify points where silence will enhance comprehension or emphasize importance. Rehearse pauses to ensure they feel natural and purposeful rather than awkward or forced. Deliberate practice maximizes effectiveness. Leverage pauses for engagement. Silence invites audience reflection and participation. During discussions or Q&A sessions, pausing after a question encourages responses and thoughtful input. Engagement strengthens connection and influence. Avoid filler words. Pauses replace unnecessary, like, or, which detract from clarity and authority. Silence conveys confidence and composure, whereas filler words can suggest uncertainty or lack of preparation. Use pauses for emotional effect. Pausing can amplify emotion, whether excitement, concern, or empathy. Timing silence around emotional content allows listeners to connect and feel the significance of your message. Pause to observe reactions. Moments of silence give you time to read the audience's body language, expressions, or engagement levels. Adjust your approach based on these cues, ensuring the conversation remains effective and responsive. Balance silence and speech. While pausing is powerful, excessive silence may create discomfort or disengagement. Strategic, well-timed pauses enhance communication without disrupting flow. Mastering this balance reinforces professionalism and authority. Practice mindfulness to enhance pausing. Being present and aware allows natural, purposeful pauses to emerge. Mindfulness reduces anxiety and improves control over timing, pacing, and delivery. Conscious presence ensures pauses feel authentic and impactful. Finally, recognize that pausing is more than silence. It is a communicative tool. Well-placed pauses command attention, apprehension, and project confidence. Pausing demonstrates mastery over speech, emotional control, and audience engagement. By integrating pauses effectively into daily communication, you transform ordinary speech into powerful, thoughtful, and engaging dialogue. Every word gains weight, every message resonates, and your presence as a smart, confident communicator is reinforced. Chapter 14. Build rapport instantly. Building rapport is essential for effective communication. People respond better to those they trust, like, and feel connected with. Smart communicators understand that rapport accelerates understanding, persuasion, and collaboration. Developing this skill allows you to influence and inspire more effectively. Start by creating genuine interest. Show authentic curiosity about the person you are speaking with. Ask questions about their experiences, opinions, or goals. People sense sincerity and are naturally drawn to those who value their perspective. Authentic interest lays the foundation for trust. Mirror body language subtly. Subtle mirroring of posture, gestures, and tone fosters connection. Matching the energy level and speech style of the other person builds unconscious familiarity and comfort, creating a sense of harmony. Subtlety ensures it feels natural rather than contrived. Use active listening. Focus entirely on the speaker, avoiding distractions. Paraphrase, summarize, or reflect their statements to demonstrate understanding. Active listening validates their thoughts, strengthens connection, and positions you as a considerate, intelligent communicator. Smile genuinely. A sincere smile conveys warmth, openness, and approachability. It reduces tension, encourages positivity, and makes others feel comfortable. Smiling can establish instant rapport in both personal and professional settings. Establish common ground. Identify shared experiences, interests, or values. Highlighting similarities creates familiarity and strengthens trust. Shared understanding allows conversations to flow more smoothly and establishes mutual respect. Adapt your communication style. Adjust your tone, vocabulary, and pace to match the listener. Some prefer direct, concise communication. Others value detailed explanations. Flexibility in style enhances relatability and demonstrates emotional intelligence. Be mindful of tone and pitch. A warm, calm, and confident tone fosters comfort and receptiveness. Avoid harsh, rushed, or monotonous delivery. Vocal qualities shape perception, and a pleasing tone accelerates rapport building. Use names effectively. Addressing people by name establishes personal connection and demonstrates attentiveness. Names are powerful cues that increase engagement, make interactions memorable, and create a sense of importance for the listener. Show empathy and validation. Acknowledge feelings, experiences, and challenges. Statements like, "I understand why that would be challenging," or "that must have been exciting," convey care and awareness, deepening trust and connection. Share small personal details strategically. Appropriate self-disclosure encourages reciprocity and mutual openness. Sharing brief experiences or thoughts creates vulnerability that invites connection, reinforcing rapport naturally. Practice positive reinforcement. Recognize contributions, ideas, or achievements during interactions. Genuine appreciation builds goodwill and makes people feel valued, enhancing mutual respect and engagement. Observe nonverbal cues. Pay attention to gestures, expressions, and posture of the listener. Adjust your communication based on these cues to maintain comfort and alignment. Awareness of subtle signals strengthens rapport and trust. Be consistent and reliable. Trust develops over repeated interactions. Honesty, dependability, and predictability reinforce your credibility and make people more receptive to your communication. Consistency fosters long-term rapport beyond initial encounters. Maintain appropriate boundaries. While connection is important, respecting personal space and limits is crucial. Balanced interactions create comfort, demonstrate professionalism, and ensure rapport is genuine and sustainable. Finally, recognize that rapport is the bridge to influence. Building authentic connection makes communication smoother, messages more persuasive, and relationships stronger. Rapport enables trust, reduces resistance, and increases your ability to inspire, guide, and lead. By practicing these techniques consistently, you can establish meaningful connections almost instantly. Every interaction becomes an opportunity to engage effectively, influence positively, and leave a lasting impression as a confident, intelligent communicator. Chapter 15. Integrate all skills for powerful communication. By the time you reach this stage, you have explored multiple aspects of smart communication: tone, questioning, storytelling, body language, preparation, persuasion, emotional intelligence, pausing, and rapport. The final step is integration, combining these skills seamlessly to become a master communicator. Start by practicing self-awareness continuously. Understanding your strengths, weaknesses, habits, and emotional triggers allows you to apply the right skill at the right time. Self-awareness is the lens through which all other communication skills are enhanced. Align verbal and non-verbal cues. Words, tone, gestures, posture, and expressions must harmonize. Inconsistencies between what you say and how you present it can reduce credibility. Integration ensures your message is coherent, compelling, and persuasive. Plan strategically, but remain adaptable. Preparation equips you with knowledge and structure, while adaptability allows you to respond intelligently to unexpected developments. Skilled communicators balance preparation with spontaneity to maintain authority and engagement. Use storytelling as the backbone. Stories organize ideas, convey emotion, and make messages memorable. When integrated with persuasive techniques, thoughtful pauses, and confident body language, stories become powerful vehicles for influence. Engage audiences with thoughtful questioning. Asking questions not only encourages participation, but also positions you as intelligent and reflective. Questions integrated with empathy, active listening, and observation enhance dialogue, understanding, and trust. Master tone, pacing, and inflection. Vocal control emphasizes key points, communicates emotion, and commands attention. Paired with pauses, modulation, and storytelling, your voice becomes a central tool in effective communication. Integrate emotional intelligence. Recognize and respond to your emotions and the emotions of others. Use empathy, validation, and tact to navigate complex social dynamics. EQ ensures that communication is not only smart, but also relational and influential. Leverage body language consciously. Confident posture, expressive gestures, facial alignment, and eye contact reinforce your verbal message. Integration of body language and verbal skills amplifies impact and leaves a lasting impression. Practice persuasive techniques ethically. Influence arises from combining evidence, storytelling, empathy, and clarity. Ethical persuasion builds credibility and trust while guiding thought and inspiring action. Integration ensures persuasion is natural, respectful, and effective. Create a rhythm in communication. Balance information delivery, pauses, gestures, and emotional cues to maintain engagement. A well-paced conversation or presentation maximizes comprehension, attention, and receptivity. Rhythm keeps your audience attentive and invested. Reinforce rapport continuously. Building trust, connection, and mutual understanding is not a one-time effort. Integrating rapport-building techniques across conversations strengthens influence and fosters positive relationships. Reflect and adapt after interactions. Consider what worked, what could be improved, and how your integrated skills were applied. Reflection reinforces learning, hones judgment, and enhances future performance. Continuous improvement ensures mastery. Practice deliberately and consistently. Integration of communication skills requires conscious effort. Daily practice in varied situations, professional, social, and personal, strengthens the automatic application of these skills and builds confidence. Embrace authenticity. Powerful communication is grounded in being genuine. Authenticity combined with integrated skills creates influence that is credible, persuasive, and sustainable. Audiences respond to truthfulness, transparency, and integrity. Finally, recognize that true mastery comes from synergy. Each individual's skill, tone, questioning, storytelling, body language, preparation, persuasion, emotional intelligence, pausing, and rapport enhances the others when applied together. Integration transforms competent speakers into compelling communicators. By synthesizing these elements in every conversation, meeting, and presentation, you communicate with clarity, authority, and impact. You become a speaker who is not only heard, but understood, trusted, and remembered. Your words inspire, your presence commands, and your communication achieves results. Mastering this integration ensures that your communication transcends ordinary interaction. It becomes a powerful force that opens doors, builds relationships, and creates influence wherever you go.